Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is part 27 for a step-by-step guide to learn Angular. So if you are directly coming to this video, I will recommend you to watch previous video first and then you can come to this video. These are the topics we are going to cover, and today we are working on reactive form. In the previous videos, we were created one form and we added validation in reactive manner, and we worked on dynamic at runtime validation also, and also we saw that set value and patch value. And in this video we are going to work on cross field validation for our start and end date drop down on our to do application. So this is the application we are going to develop in this complete video series. So let's start. So this is our to do form we developed in the previous video, and we added this form group directive, and in the control we added this form control name directive in the previous section. So in this video, for making a cross field validation, I'm going to use one more directive that's called form group name. So this is our start date control and this is our end date control. So I for form group I need to wrap that both the controls. So I will use do here, and here I am going to give, and let's wrap our control inside this div. So let me close this one, and it should be here, and save our changes. So now for the cross-field validation for the start date and end date, we have successfully defined the new group that's called date group, and we have wrapped our start date and end date control inside a form group. And our validation should be my end date cannot be less than the start date. It should be equal or greater to start date. So this is a validation we need for this group. So after defining that group in the HTML, let's define that in the component itself. So let me open my component, that's save to component.ts, and here we are defining our form. So now let me add our new group also. And what it is, this is a form group, so we can use our form builder. And let's move our start date and end date inside this form group. So let me paste it here. Let's remove this white space and save our changes. So now our start date and end date is a part of date group. So same change we need to make in our HTML also. So let's copy this date group text. Let's move to our HTML, and here wherever I'm using this start date, instead of that I will use date group dot start date. So let me replace same changes for end date as well. So this is my end date, and let's replace this end date also with the date group dot end date. So let me quickly replace this and here as well. and let's save this. So with this change, our old code should work as expected, as it was earlier working. So let's quickly verify that. So let's keep cursor on task name and let's come out. So I can see validation. Let's select personal and let's go back. I can see validation for category. Let's keep cursor on start date and come out so I can see validation for start date and as well for end date. And let me uncheck this checkbox. So end date should be optional. Let's see that that validation is working or not. So I will uncheck this. Oh, so this code is not working because we missed to update our auto close checked event change according to our new date group change. So let's quickly fix this. So now let me copy this date group and move to our to do component. And here if I will scroll down so I can see our is auto close event method. And here if you will observe, we are getting the end date and we are using end date, but now it is a part of a to do date group dot end date. So after this change our changes should work. Now let's verify. So now this is our end date. Let me keep cursor in end date and let's come out so I can see validation. That's correct. And let me uncheck this checkbox. So now this field should become optional. So yeah, our validation is removed now. So all our changes working as it was working in the previous section. Now let's start for cross field validation for start date and end date. So for cross field validation between start date and end date, step one is we need to create one class. So I'm creating a new class. Let me give name as a custom date dot validator dot ts and let's open this. Export class and let's give name custom date validator. And now let's go back to our to do component, save to do component, and we can see this existing validators. So let me open this required validator. So you just select this and right click, so you will see this pop up, and here you can click on go to definition. So it will open like this. So we can see this method which is accepting abstract control as an input parameter and return type is a validation errors. So similar to this method, I need to create one method in our custom date validator class. So let's copy this and paste it here, and let's add this curly bracket and let's import our abstract control and validation errors, and let's return null for now. Now let me come back to our save to do component, and here this is our date group. So inside this we are passing our validations, and for group level validation, if I will add one comma here, so I can pass group level validations here. So let's add validators here, and here we can define our custom validator. So this is a custom validator class, and let me import this. And if I will click dot here, so I cannot see my method. So why I cannot see? Because that method is an instance method. So to get this method with class name, I need to decorate this class with the static keyword. So now our method is static. Let's go back, and now I can see Let's rename this method as well. So it should not be required. It should be date validator or something. Let's copy this and now I can see date validator. Let's save this. So as we discussed in the previous video, this abstract control is a base class for all our control. So instead of this abstract control, I can add form group here. And now if I want to get my start date and end date, so how can I get that? How can I do this? So this is our start date. So let's copy this and now let's change this control to form, and here start date equals to form dot, we can see get, and inside get we can pass the ID, that control name. So we are having a start date. Similar to that, let's take end date. So end date equals to form dot get, and inside that we can pass the end date for control name for end date. So let's copy and paste it end date as well. Now we are having both controls. So now step one is I will check if any of this control is pristine, means value is not changed. So I want to return null. So start date dot pristine or end date dot pristine. Then I am going to return null. So if both values dirty, then only I am going to write my logic for date validator. So now we need to add the validation. Our start date cannot be greater than our end date, right? So it should be always smaller than or equal to our end date. So let's start writing our code. So I am adding one if condition, and here first I need to pass our start date value to date. So I can use date here, and inside the constructor I can pass our start date dot value, and I can add this greater than condition, and here same I will add this date, and in the constructor I can pass our end date value. So end date dot value. So what if my end date start date value is greater than end date? So I'm going to return validation errors. So I will add this curly bracket here, and I can give the key and value for validation errors as we discussed in the template driven video. So I'm giving a key as date validator, and value I'm giving as a true. And let's save this. Now in the HTML I'm going to wrap this code in the parenthesis. Yeah, and here I'm going to add one or condition, and here let's paste it, and I will check for dead group errors. So if it is having errors, so I'm going to show this invalid control class, and let's copy this and paste it same for our end date as well. So let's wrap this code first with the parentheses and paste this condition. So if end date is also having a dead group errors, so I'm going to show this border. Now let me take our start date. So I'm taking as a 28 August, and end date let's take before our uh, 28. So let me take 25th. So now I can see the red border. So our CSS condition is working fine, but it's not making sense only if we will show the border. So we should show some message. So let's add one message below our end date. So now let's copy this if condition for if we are showing please enter end date and paste it here. So and now let's remove all this and here I should add date group and in the errors I should check for date validator and also let's remove this white space and let's change this message to end date should be greater than or equal to start date and let's save these changes. Now let me select a start date, so I'm taking 27th and end date I'm taking before 27, so let's take 26 and now with red border I can see our message, so it's looking now better. That's all for this video for the cross-field validation. In the next video we will work for reactive form watch and react. Thank you for watching.